Good morning. It is Monday, June 8th now. And as you can tell by my new shirt, this is the day after my new shirt came in the mail, was delivered here to the guest house. So I'm still enjoying it very much. And I was sitting inside my room just a few minutes ago, and I was going to enjoy a cup of coffee. Instant coffee, of course. And another knock came on my door, and Krisana from the guest house delivered another package. Check that out. Because of the shape of it, you know, the size of it, I thought at first maybe it was my new passport, you know? But I think, nah, the passport would come in a bigger envelope perhaps, but it is kind of passport sized. But as soon as I picked it up, I could tell it wasn't a passport. In fact, I have a pretty good idea of what it could be. And if it is what I think it is, this will be very useful. It may not make a lot of sense to people out there that aren't technical and are not using their smartphone for everything, which is what I'm doing right now. But for me, I think the item in this package will come in very handy. All that noise you're hearing, by the way, is rain. Actually, let me, I'll show you what's going on over here in Mesot right now. There it is. Finally, it is living up to the rainy season. Heavy rain coming down pretty hard. So, I don't know how well you can hear me over the sound of the rain because it's pretty loud right now. But it's time to take a closer look at this package, see if we can figure anything out from the outside. As usual, not a lot. Carry Express, coming from News Hop 2019, if that means anything. Yeah, News Hop 2019. All right, let's open this up and we'll see what's going on. If it is what I think it is, we can even test it perhaps. And there it is. It is what I thought it was. Yeah, bring this closer to the camera. It is another OTG cable, but a special one because it is a multi-adapter. So this end plugs into your phone, and now it has 3 plugs on the other end, so you can plug in multiple devices at the same time, which is very, very handy. Ooh. There it is. I was actually looking for these, but here in Mesot, I looked in every store when I was looking for OTG adapters. I was looking for like a multi-adapter like this one, but I couldn't find it anywhere. The only way to get one, I think, would be by ordering it online. And I guess some kind soul out there went to the trouble of ordering it for me. Yeah. So there it is there. I've never had one of these before. I've never even seen one before. So I'm not quite sure how it all works. I guess these are USB, plugs, clearly. And then this one, I guess, is USB-C? No, or what is that one there? Yeah. Anyway, this may not make a lot of sense to you, but what I need this for is because I'm using my smartphone for everything. So even if I'm writing an email or doing anything, I have to plug everything into my phone. So I use, an OTG adapter to plug the keyboard into my phone. But once I do that, I can no longer plug in the power cord because this has to plug into the phone, and I'm using up, the one OTG adapter for the keyboard. But with this, I can plug in the keyboard and I can plug in power. So, because before this, I'd be busy working on my phone, either copying files, typing, editing video, doing whatever I'm doing. But then the phone starts to run out of power, and I have no choice but to unplug whatever I'm doing, plug my phone in to charge it up, and then I have to wait until it's fully charged before I have to unplug it again, and then I can go back to work. But with this, I don't have to stop. I can plug in power and a device at the same time, and then I can just keep going, and the phone will be charging as I'm using it. So yeah, it's a very cool thing. I don't know how long I can sit out here. I'm actually being attacked by a lot of mosquitoes. I can feel them biting me. And it really is quite loud from the rain. And the wind is about to blow over my GoPro. It's getting pretty crazy out here. So anyway, I'm gonna get my phone and test just the OTG adapter, see if that works. Okay, I've moved inside. It was just way too noisy out there with the rain falling. I couldn't even hear myself think, and there were way too many mosquitoes. But I'm still enjoying my cup of instant coffee, so don't worry about that. And I thought I would do a little test here with my new multi OTG adapter. So what I've got here are two devices. This is a memory card reader, so I can read like memory cards from my GoPro, like video files from my GoPro. And then I have a wireless mouse. And in order to run the wireless mouse, I have to plug this into my phone. So as you can see, normally, if there's only one cable, I can plug in my mouse, but then I can't plug in the card reader, or vice versa. I can only plug in one thing at a time. And this should allow me to plug in and operate two devices at the same time. So let's see how this works. Let's plug in my wireless dongle for my mouse and plug it into my phone. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, Houston, we have a problem. This apparently is more modern than my phone. The plug in my phone is an old-fashioned one, I guess. Ah, yeah, we've run into an issue here. To be honest, I don't even know the terminology for this, but this is an OTG adapter that works on my phone, and that's the plug that goes into my phone, and the plug on this one is different. I believe one is, I don't know. What do you call these on smartphones? I know there's like USB and the USB-C, for a laptop, but what's going on here with the phone? Mine has that plug. And it looks like this one is not, it's not going to fit in there. It's a different size. I think this is a modern plug. Oh, that is unfortunate. Oh. I'm sorry for whoever sent me this. Your heart was definitely in the right place, and this would have really made a difference in my life, if it would work. But I'll definitely keep this, and I think I will end up using it in the future because I'm pretty sure I'll be getting a new phone at some point, and any new smartphone will come with a different, a different plug. I think all the newer, better phones have upgraded since the day that I bought this phone. So, I guess that is where our experiment ends for today. I have to wait until I have a different phone to be able to use this. Or maybe there's even I hate to think of it, but maybe there's even a little adapter, that can adapt from here to that. But to be honest, that doesn't make a lot of sense because this is already an adapter, right? Like how many adapters do you want to pile one on top of the other? All right, moving on. Okay, I did a little bit of searching online, and I think I have my terminology straight. I'm not quite as dumb as I sounded earlier. I know a little bit about this, but all of my technology is so old, that I'm not quite up to date with a lot of things. But anyway, what I learned, what I think is going on, is that my smartphone has USB micro, and that's what this OTG adapter has. It has a USB micro is what they call that. And that is the slightly older technology. And this OTG adapter is more up to date, and it has USB-C. And most modern, I think if you go to the store now and buy a smartphone, chances are it will have USB-C port on it, because that's the newest technology. And I guess there's a lot of advantages to USB-C, but to the consumer, one big advantage is that it doesn't matter what way you plug it in, right? Even on laptops, USB-C, you can plug it in this way or turn it around and plug it in. It just plugs in no matter what you do. And of course, with USB micro, you're busy trying to stick it in, and you're like, oh, you have it upside down. It has to go in the other way. Just like regular USB, it only goes in one way, and you're constantly fumbling around. You think you've got it the wrong way, and you turn it around, and it still won't go in, and you think, oh, I had it right the first time, and you're trying to put it in again. All those problems are gone with USB-C. So, I think that's giving me a small quest for today. The rain has pretty much stopped, and Krisana from the guest house here, she brought me this huge umbrella the other day and left that outside my door and said, since it's the rainy season now, you can use this umbrella while you're here. So I can head out safely with that giant umbrella. So I think I'm going to walk down to the Advice computer shop near the hospital, and that's where someone told me, someone actually called the guest house and left a message for me saying that I could buy one of these OTG adapters at Advice computer shop near the hospital. And that's where I went, and that's where I bought this one. So I'm wondering if maybe they carry a very small, very simple USB-C to USB micro adapter. And then if I can get one of those, I can just plug the adapter on here, and then I will be able to plug it into this phone. And then if I ever do, buy a more modern smartphone, if this one dies or something, then, I can use the USB-C without the adapter. But for now, yeah, in order to use this, I need an adapter. And I looked online, and there's different styles of adapters. You can get USB-C to micro adapters that are like a cable like this. And I think I'd prefer not to get that. I'd rather get one that is just one tiny little piece that I can stick on the end here, and then this cable won't end up being, longer and longer. But whatever they have at Advice, I'll pick up basically whatever they have, if they have any kind of a USB-C to micro adapter. So that's going to be my little quest for this afternoon. I'm not going to go roaming all over Mesa and go to all kinds of stores. I'm just going to go to Advice because they did seem to have kind of a whole wall of adapters there. So I'm going to go back there today and see if I can find an adapter that will let me use this. So, a shopping quest for a rainy day in Mesot. I'm off on my newest shopping quest. I'm looking forward to walking into the shop with confidence and saying, I am looking for a USB-C to USB micro adapter. And see what they have. And maybe I'll do something else during my walk here. I think as I walk along, I'm going to keep my eyes open for a good lunch place for tomorrow. My last couple of lunches had been at some fairly nice restaurants, serving some very good food, Borderline and Mogul. And I was thinking maybe it's time to go back to my roots and find a simple neighborhood shop, a little restaurant, you know, serving just one area, one neighborhood, and get my lunch there tomorrow. See what I can come up with. So maybe on this walk to Advice, I can keep my eyes open and look around, see if I can, you know, just spot a restaurant that looks interesting and might be good for lunch tomorrow. I'll have to see how that goes. Something else I figured out is that my new USB-C OTG cable adapter that someone sent me, it has 3 plugs on it. 2 of them are USB, and the third one, I wasn't sure what it was. But since then, I figured out that third one is actually a USB micro. So there you go. It has a USB micro to USB-C adapter kind of built right into it. But unfortunately, it's going in the other direction. So I need a second one to get full use of this new OTG adapter cable. Well, the rain did stop, yeah, and I headed out without the giant umbrella because I have I have a mini umbrella in my knapsack all the time. I didn't really want to carry the big one around if I didn't actually need it. But it has started to rain again. Gecko adventures continue in my room. I'm kind of worried about the newest Gecko resident because this is a little gecko. He came into my room from outside while we were installing the air conditioner. And now I'm a little bit worried about him because he doesn't seem able to figure out what to do in his new environment. He seems to sense that this isn't his home, and he hasn't been able to really get comfortable. All the other geckos, they have their place, you know, they just kind of hide in there during the day, go out hunting at night, and then they come back to their little hidey hole again. But this guy, he's wandering all over the place. I was lying on my bed this morning reading a book, and out of the corner of my eye, sure enough, I caught some movement, and it was this new gecko. You know, he'd climbed up onto the bed, and then he was walking along the bed toward me. You know, he came up to my legs, and then he was kind of looking around, wondering what's going on. And of course, the second I moved, he darted away and jumped off the end of the bed. But he doesn't seem to want to settle down anywhere. He hasn't found a home, you know, where he feels comfortable. And just as I was fiddling around on that kitchen table in my room, you know, with my new, you know, USB OTG cable adapters and things, I noticed that the gecko was on the table. He had climbed up the table leg and he was like sitting right on top of the table. And then as soon as I noticed him and looked at him, he panicked, ran towards the end of the table, and then he leaped off. You know, he like flung his whole body off the end of the table, landed on the ground just fine, and then skittered away. But that sort of stuff amazes me because for him to jump from that height, it would be like me jumping off a 40-story building, you know? So these geckos are like Superman. Yeah, I feel sorry for him every time he runs away from me because I know he doesn't know, but I know he has nothing to fear from me. I'm never going to hurt him. But of course, he doesn't know that, so he has to run away every time I show up. But I want to tell him, it's like, come on, little gecko, just relax. Do whatever you want. You know, you can crawl all over the bed, all over the table, jump on my arms, sit on my head. Anything you want to do to get comfortable here, you just go ahead and do it, and I'm not going to hurt you. In fact, as far as danger goes, he's in much greater danger from other geckos than he is from me, because big geckos will happily eat small geckos. I mean, they'll eat anything that comes their way. So he's much safer around me than he would be around any of the other geckos in my room. But the poor guy doesn't know that. I have been wondering whether I should scoop him up and put him outside, put him back where he was, maybe, somehow. You know, maybe that's why he's wandering around so much. He's trying to find a way out, get back to his own world, you know, get out of my world. But I don't know. Maybe that would even be worse for him to be outside. He just needs time to settle in. Well, I kind of forgot about my quest to find a new restaurant. Been kind of distracted by the rain. I've already stumbled through a couple of puddles, and my feet and sandals are soaking wet. Yeah, this level of rain is that odd level where it's not raining so hard that you think you have to take cover or get out an umbrella, but it is raining enough that, you know, you feel like you're getting wet. So you're sort of in a rain no man's land here. But I am a bit worried about my microphone on my GoPro. So I think it might be time to put it away. Oh. I'm back outside my guest house room. It was raining almost the entire time that I was out there. So once I put my camera away, I couldn't really bring it back out. It was just raining way too much. Now, I wish I did bring the big umbrella with me, because my little umbrella, it works. You know, it kind of keeps me a little bit dry from, well, maybe it didn't at all, because I feel like I'm soaking wet from head to toe. Anyway, my umbrella didn't work that well. And my shopping quest, unfortunately, was a failure. I wanted to get a USB-C to USB micro adapter for this, and they didn't carry it at all. Took me quite a long time to convey to them what it was I wanted, which is kind of what I expected. My whole life, it feels like it's been this long search for items that either don't exist or are difficult to find, or are adapters to an adapter to another adapter. I always seem to be trying to take something and plug it into something where it doesn't belong, and I need an adapter to connect the two. And it's difficult to tell people what it is you're looking for, because I kept saying, you know, USB. I kept saying OTG, and then the guy would hear OTG and micro USB, and he'd say, oh yeah, we have one of those. And then he would show me, you know, this, which is, you know, OTG USB to USB micro. He says, yeah, we have one of those. And he would show me this exact same one in a package, you know, on the shelf. And I says, no, I know what that is, but I need something for this, you know, USB-C to change this to USB micro. And I showed him how this doesn't fit into my phone, because my phone has micro, not USB-C. And I show him, see, I need an adapter because this won't fit. And he says, no, you don't need an adapter. All you need is this, because it has USB micro. So we're going around and around in circles, and I'm trying to explain, yes. And I took this out of my pocket to show him the one he kept showing me. I showed him, I already have this. I already bought it here in your store. So I don't really need to buy this. And I was trying to explain that the difference between this one with one USB and this one with 3 this is the one I want to attach to my phone, but it has USB-C. And so, of course, by this point, we've both said USB-C, USB, USB micro, OTG, so many acronyms in so many different combinations that I think neither of us had any clue what the other one was talking about. And I did call it up on my phone. You know, I found it on Shopee or Lazada or somewhere, and I found one and I showed him what I was looking for. And he brought it over to the woman who sits at the counter, who has the computer, I guess, which orders all their supplies and keeps track of inventory. She took one look at it and said, no, we don't carry that. We don't have that. You have to get it from Shopee. But man, yeah, I had some small adventures along the way, not big ones. I was looking for a restaurant for lunch tomorrow, and I found a couple of good candidates. I think one in particular is where I'll go tomorrow. I liked it because it looked very simple and casual inside. Little tables, you know, with plastic chairs, and some friendly looking people sitting outside, you know, the staff. But the best thing about it was that it had big pictures, like big boards with photographs of the food that they served there. So that's always great for me because I can just, you know, if all else fails, you know, I can just walk over to the pictures with the waitress and say, oh, can I have this and this and this? And I can just point to things, and that just makes life so much easier. So I think that's where I'll go tomorrow if I feel like I want to go out for a lunch. And I did see a couple other places, but I think I did find a winner for tomorrow. So maybe I'll go there for a nice basic lunch tomorrow. Oh man, it's crazy though, going into the Advice computer shop, because, you know, I wear these reading glasses these days. I don't need glasses just to look around me for normal life, but I do need them now in order to, you know, read products that are on the shelf. And for all of you people that have worn glasses your entire life, how did you do it? Like, how did this not just drive you nuts? Because I've only been wearing these for a short time, and they drive me crazy. I mean, I'm out there in the rain, so of course they're covered in rain, right? So I go into the shop, I put these on, and I can't see anything because they're covered in water, and I'm, you know, trying to wipe them dry with my shirt. And then I put them back on, but I'm wearing this blue mask now, and these blue masks, I can't breathe through them. They're like too thick or something. I don't know if that means they're not designed well, or maybe they're supposed to be that way. I don't know. But they're so thick and air doesn't pass through them, so that as I'm trying to breathe, all the air from my mouth gets blown up from under the mask and then into my glasses. So the second I put my glasses on, I've cleared off the rainwater, but then I put this on, I breathe once or twice, and my glasses have just fogged up completely because of all of the air I'm blowing up from the mask. And now I can't see again because of all the you know, moisture that's built up on my glasses. So now I can't see anymore, and I'm wiping, I put them back on, and then I can't breathe. I have to hold my breath for a while I'm looking so I don't fog up my glasses again. It's like, oh my goodness, how in the world? And this happens all the time now. You know, I'm constantly fighting and fidgeting with these glasses, and then when it rains, it makes things 10 times harder. So, all you people that have worn glasses from childhood, whew, you have my sympathy. I don't know how you've put up with it. Drives me up the wall. And on my way back, I stopped off at 7-Eleven, and they now have the system there where they want you to use the QR code to sign in. So I did that, and I've done it before, but every single time I do it, I get an error message, not an error message, it logs me in on the Thai China website just fine, but then it says that 7-Eleven has exceeded its capacity. And I'm looking at that saying, oh, am I supposed to wait? You know, I show it to, you know, the girl who's taking my temperature, and it says I can't go in because 7-Eleven has exceeded its capacity. And she looks at it and says, no, you go in, you go in. And I go in, and there's actually one other person in 7-Eleven, and that's it, me and one other person. So I think, how can they have exceeded their capacity? That's kind of crazy. But of course, what has happened is that all these people have gone in, they've logged in with Thai China, but then they haven't checked out. And I don't know how long the system keeps them, registered, but, according to the system, probably 100 people have checked in and none of them have checked out. So as far as Thai China is concerned, there's 100 people in 7-Eleven, when in fact there was only one person, right? So that was a little bit of a glitch in the system. So that was kind of funny until I thought it through and I figured out what was going on. But yeah, they let me in, even though it said, we have exceeded our capacity, no more people allowed. And when I left, I checked out again. But I can understand why people wouldn't, because checking in and checking out is especially when it's raining and you're fighting with your umbrella and your purchases and your wallet and your knapsack, and you're trying to, your hands are all wet too from the rain, and you're trying to tap on the screen of your phone and then it's not registering because your hands are wet, and you're trying to swipe up and swipe in and log in, and the whole thing is just a mess. So I can understand why people didn't bother to check out if they had bothered to check in to begin with. So I'm here back at the guest house, as I said, and going to head inside and enjoy the air conditioning. And I think I'm going to have the food that was left over from Mogul restaurant yesterday. I had lunch at Mogul restaurant, and I ordered, twice as much food as I needed. So I took half of it home with me, and I think that's going to be my late lunch, early dinner right now. So I'm going to go inside and have something to eat. Maybe I'll show you what all of my takeout compartments look like. I sort of have to eat it cold because there's no way for me to heat it up. I don't have a microwave or anything like that, but I don't mind. I don't mind some cold leftovers. I took it out of the fridge before I left, so it's just been sitting in my room, and I just wanted it to warm up a little bit, from the temperature in my room. And I was very careful to hang it in a spot that would be safe for a couple hours, from ants, because if ants got a whiff of that food in that plastic bag, they would have, thousands of them would have gotten onto that food very, very fast. So you can't leave food outside in a room like this. There are just too many ants in there, and different species too. Depending on what you leave out, like the other day I spilled a little bit of Coffee Mate, so there was just a sprinkle of Coffee Mate on the table that I forgot to clean up. And then when I woke up this morning, there were these tiny little ants, like entire colonies of these super fast and really, really tiny ants just swarming all over the table because they really liked that Coffee Mate. And the big ants, the really big ones that are crawling up and down my walls, they're not interested in anything that's left out on the table for some reason. I guess they have another food source, but the big ones never come onto the table. It's just these little ones that I find on the table. And I think there are also some medium-sized ones. So I think this is my room, I'm paying for it and I'm staying in it, but really it belongs to the geckos, the spiders, and the ants. There's so many of them in there that if they ever ganged up on me, they could probably just overwhelm me and kick me out the door and say, "Get out of here, buddy. This is our room. We're going to eat all your food," something like that. Anyway, I'm going to head inside and have something to eat. A couple of quick notes before I dive into my late lunch, early dinner. I was talking about this OTG adapter that I got in the mail this morning that somebody was kind enough to order for me and have it sent here. And I said that the name on it was News Hop. But I was looking at it again, and you can read it a different way. And the other reading is, I'm sure, much more logical. It's not News Hop, but New Shop. So I think it's New Shop 2019, New Shop 2019, whether that is a person or an actual shop, a new shop 2019, I don't know. But anyway, I got your name wrong the first time. It's not News Hop, it's New Shop. But if you write that down or if you think about it, you can see how I made that mistake. You know, if you run the whole thing together, you're not quite sure where to break it into 2 words. The other little note, something that I learned, has to do with my air conditioning adventures. In a previous video, I talked about how the owners of this guest house replaced my air conditioner. It stopped working. There was a problem with the motherboard or the control board inside it, and they installed this brand new air conditioner. There it is there, from a company called PSI, and I guess it is a very energy efficient model. People have been telling me about that it has an inverter and it has this number 5 rating. I haven't done any research into this, so I don't really know what that means, but people tell me that because of that it has an inverter, it is a very energy efficient model. So that's cool. And I was wondering what had happened to the old one. They took out the old one, and I don't know, I was wondering why take out the old one and put in a brand new one when it seemed like they had already fixed the old one. All they had to do was replace that control board, and the repairman, he came and did put in a new control board, and it worked. So I thought, well, I don't know, why replace it when you could fix it? And it turns out, I found out from talking to Krisana, that they took this air conditioner from this room, the one that it now was repaired, and they installed it in another room here at the guest house. So it's not like it was thrown away or anything. It was still a functioning air conditioner. But they decided that they would take advantage of this to install that air conditioner in a different room. And since they were going to buy a brand new one, they would put it in this room, which I guess is kind of their premium room that they reserve for long-term guests. So they wanted to put the good air conditioner here and then take the slightly older one and move it to a different room. So that kind of explained that mystery a little bit. And just for fun, here is my lunch from yesterday. All the containers that they put it in for me to take home. Let's see how they packaged all this up for me and what I have for my late lunch. Oh, it's a paper. Actually, I guess paper is a good thing. That's better than styrofoam. I was expecting it to be styrofoam, but this is actually a paper, and I assume that's more environmentally friendly. Ah, that is my grilled chicken salad. That is going to be very good. And what do we have here? Oh, this one's kind of light. I think that must be my leftover aloo paratha, my potato stuffed bread. How do you open these things? Ah, there we go. Just one piece of aloo paratha left over. At first, I thought aloo meant garlic, but then I remembered that aloo meant potato. And this dish has potato stuffing, potato filling in the middle of this bread. And it's very spicy and very, very tasty. And when you order it in the restaurant, it comes with a nice dish of a kind of yogurt or lassi sauce that you can dip this in. And it's a very good combination. Ooh, look at this. Wow, okay. So now we've got some plastic. And this contains the extra rice and mutton. Mutton karati or mutton karathi. I forget if it's karati or karathi. Ah, does that look so good? Look at that. Hard to come up with a better late lunch, early dinner than that. Thanks to the Mogul restaurant here in Mesot. Okay, this is me having dinner. I thought since I'm here and since I have a GoPro, I just put it up there on the window of my room, and you can join me having a little bit of dinner. If I had dinner music, I would play it. Stay tuned for the next video where I guess I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna go back to my roots a little bit and maybe have a more simple meal at a local place here in Mesot. Hopefully, if the weather is good, I can do that tomorrow. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I think that sounds like a good place to end the video for today, actually. Not a whole lot of things going on today. I just thought I would, just break out the GoPro and film little things that I'm doing during the day today. And tomorrow, back out into Mesot for lunch at a local restaurant. And I will see you in that video.